Right, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me, and thank you, Keen Care, for this opportunity, because I love to meet people in Brisbane. I'm actually from the Gold Coast, and it's a rare occasion I'm back in Queensland, but here I am. So some of you I do know, and it's very exciting to see familiar faces, and also great to meet all the new providers in the room and the other industries too. So diversity models, I guess, is the game changer modelling agency that came into Australia. So before diversity models were started in July 2022, didn't exist. There was no modelling agency in the country that wanted to look after people with disabilities or onboard them as talent and help them get jobs. So that's where I identified that there was an opportunity to break the market, innovate, just like AI, and amazing what Keen Care does, and do the same thing, but in a creative sense. So, what's my history? Okay, here we go. So this is one of my beautiful models here. So I was actually a teacher for 13 years. So I love education, I love people, and I love the care industry in general. I was also running a recruitment agency called Exceptional Tuition and Resume, so we still have that agency. So my background is in education and recruitment, so hence the easy transition into the disability sector for the job side of things. I've also went for Gold Coast City Council elections, I think it was last year from my memory, and it was an interesting experience, I must say. I'm no politician, but I'm someone that loves the community and I love to create change, and so hence diversity models was made. And also I'm in the media quite a bit, so if you Google me or whatever, you'll see something, but always the reason I'm in the media is because I'm pushing diversity models out there to be seen, because behind the brand is our people with disabilities, and that's my goal at all times. My skills, I love media, marketing, recruitment, and I love to see people succeed. My background was also in modelling as a hobby, so it's quite funny. When I was a teacher for 13 years in the university, RTO and high school sector, I was modelling on the side as a little side hustle, just for fun, but also to keep me relaxed, you know, because you have to find that balance in your life, and so modelling was my thing, and eventually it became my career, and hence no longer a teacher. So why are we the leader? So we are the very first modelling agency in Australia specialising in people with disabilities, and we're also the first that was an NDIS registered provider. So we went through the gauntlet, like some of the companies in this room, to get the registration, so you know we were in it for the long term. And it is my passion company, because I believe you can't run a business unless your heart is really, really in it. And the modelling industry is not easy, it's very competitive. And you can imagine from my own experiences when I was younger, it was very hard to break into modelling. So hence I waited till later in life. Being multicultural, mature age, short, curvy, everything that typical models aren't is what I am. So I realised if I can do it, I can do it for people with disabilities as well. So we operate nationwide, so particularly on the East Coast Australia is our concentration, because that's obviously where the clients are. We act as a recruitment agency, so besides onboarding people with disabilities to experience modelling and do our photo shoots, we also help them to find gig-based employment as models, specifically for disabilities. So our clients are like government agencies, NDIS providers, healthcare companies, lifestyle companies, products, anyone that has an interest in disabilities and wants real people to be their models for their marketing material, for example. And we put people with disabilities on the map, because as I mentioned before, and from speaking to our participants, there was no other modelling agency that wanted to take them, so a lot of our models were rejected, unfortunately. But like me, they always had a desire to become a model, because it makes them feel good. It's their happy place. So we created the pathway to do that. Our commercial aims for our participants is obviously to get them into some sort of job. Now the jobs are not full-time, they're not part-time, they're not casual, they're gig spaces. So it's kind of a little bit up and down, but at least we get them into open employment. So they're not being paid $3 an hour or $6 an hour like you sometimes hear. They get paid per project on a half-day rate or a full-day rate, and it's very well paid too. So, but again, as I said, we're not a traditional modelling agency, so we don't follow the typical standards of other agencies. We create our own, because what you'll see, if you follow us on social media especially, you'll see that we are always putting our models out there to be seen. We always do marketing for them. We create events, free community events. We do whatever we can to give them the chance to be seen, because you never know who's watching, and other agencies won't do that. So that's one of our point of differences, to be an advocate for people with disabilities and to give them that purpose in life and opportunity to build their confidence. We do a lot of media opportunities. So as you know, so I'm the face of the business. So there's me, there's diversity models, there's our models. So that's kind of the aim, to get in front of the media, and then the rest comes naturally. We are a voice for people with disabilities. So we don't only take on autism, we take on all disabilities. So visible disabilities and hidden disabilities. So we don't discriminate, because we want people of all kinds of disabilities to have their chance to be models. And that's where we're different to other agencies too, is we're not taking the easy road, we're taking the road that's purposeful and meaningful. And also we do inclusive casting too. So our goal is to make sure that people with disabilities have their chance to shine. We try to book them for all kinds of opportunities. If there's a way that we can throw them into the media, we'll give them that chance, because for them it's their chance to represent themselves, to feel empowered, to do something different, to not be at home and feel sad. It gives them that chance where they can level up the game. Just like for myself, I leveled up the game and came in as a diverse model. So I do the same for people with disabilities, and I love it. I love it. It's my passion and it's my heart. This is one of our weekend workshops which we did during the, I think it was the Gold Coast Film Festival. So we took our models to this event where they could meet and network with like film producers, directors, anyone in the creative sphere that will see us. And as you can see, we have our trademark hounds too. So we definitely have this brand identity, because we try to attract attention deliberately. Everything's intentional, everything's strategic, because we don't want people to be hidden. We want them to be seen. That's the way they get booked by companies that are interested in their look or their disability. So yeah, houndstooth all the way. Our skills for our participants is that, number one, they build their confidence. So a lot of people that come to us at first, they kind of shy away a little bit because they've been told all the time, you're not good enough. You know, they get hit down by a lot of people. You'll never get a job. This is a really common comment which I hear. Or they've been bullied, or they've had something negative that has pushed them down and not given them a chance to rise. So we overcome that bit by bit, and we're very sensitive to these issues, because we know that dealing with people with disabilities is not only a creative aspect of our business, but it's also an emotional experience, it's a social experience, but it's also a team-based experience. So we build their confidence through different ways. We get them socially confident, so we want them, when we take them to different events relating to modelling or the entertainment industry, to go and speak to people, to be not afraid, to advocate for themselves like we do for them. Community participation, so we try to get them into all kinds of events that we think is their chance to say what they want to say, be seen. We encourage them, if they've got business cards, to give out business cards of their own as well, because we want them to not only get work with us as a modelling agency, but if they can represent themselves too, this is a good thing, because we're not going to hold them back. We encourage them. Employability, resilience. You know, I was saying to you before, being a model is not easy, it's competitive. I can tell you how many times I have been knocked back for modelling gigs over the years. My 20s was probably the worst time because, you know, back in the day, so what was that, 2000s, I reckon? You know, I wouldn't stand a chance. I think some of you guys are giggling. You know what I mean. But it's true. I wouldn't stand a chance as a model, because I'm so short, and I was always told, maybe you could do commercials, but that's about it. You know, you can't walk the catwalk. But you know what? I gave the birth to all those modelling agencies, because I had applied for every single modelling agency in Australia. No kidding. Because I had the fight inside of me to at least try. And then when I realised, okay, I'm not going to get through, I'll start my own. And I went for it. Thank you. And it's funny, because then I decided, well, the name diversity models is very applicable, because we're representing those diverse models that wouldn't have been given a chance. Where people back in the day had their blinkers on, they couldn't see opportunity, they couldn't see beyond the typical, you know, underfed, you know, kind of models. So we want models that are real, that are relatable. Disabilities is our thing, because I love people with disabilities. They're the best, and they don't really have much of an ego, to be honest too. So that's even better as an agency. And personal grooming and self-care too. So within our workshops, we infuse different skills that not only will help them to succeed as models, but it'll also help them to grow in society as well, because we want them to find work. If they can find work outside of modelling, well done. If they've got businesses that they are starting, we will help to promote that across our networks, because we're really, I guess, proactive in social media. I love marketing. It's something that came from experience, years of experience. You know, besides being a teacher for so long, I always had my recruitment agency, so I've been used to promoting on paper, but now we promote people. So yeah, so lots of skills that we develop, but our aim is to make people with disabilities to shine in their own right. What else? So yeah, so we said commercial gigs. Oh, sorry, okay, so how does our participants win life? Well, they achieve employment, they're happier, their families are so happy because they sit there when they come to their first shoot and they take lots of photos, videos, and they think, I never would have imagined my child or my family member to feel like this, to smile like this, and to know that they are in a different part of their lives, you know? So we are actually uplifting people with disabilities no matter where they are in their stage of life. But that's our goal, because I've always been someone, coming from a teaching background, who loves to push people to their potential, no matter what. And so that's part of our goal. They make friends and they realise their value, and it's that simple. This is what drives us to make a good experience for people with disabilities. So our first step obviously is the portfolio onboarding shoot. So I'm sure on social media some of you may have seen our advertising, because we are pretty active, but this is the first step our participants take. So they come to our studio, we do their hair and makeup, we prepare them for their portfolio shoot, and then we shoot them. And in that experience they get to see and feel and connect with our team and know kind of what it's like in entering the industry, because diversity models is that first point where you can start the journey, because someone's going to start at the bottom and work their way up. Some models will become speaking models as well if they're quite vocal and they've got something positive to say. We will push them out there. Others may stay as just visual models, and that's fine. But either way, this is the first point of helping them to commence their journey. And they also get to understand the process too. So as I said, we're not your typical modelling agency. We a mixture of media, marketing, modelling, and also self-development too for them. So it's a across the board agency. This is some of our beautiful models that were wearing our fashion. These girls were really, really enjoyable to work with, because they really were feminine in this experience. These dresses, I actually made them for them. It's called Moncherie Design. But you know, in the past at the Melbourne Disability Connections Expo and the Brisbane Disability Connections Expo, I dressed about 20 of our models in these designs, and they were on the catwalk, and they loved it. They loved it because we had all kinds of disabilities, and it was, I guess, it was one of the highlights of our journey of helping participants feel fabulous about themselves, because that's what we want. That's what we want. We want them to be happy. So we do these. Diversity Models Academy is the modelling and deportment arm. So it's different to a typical modelling agency deportment school, because we don't focus on just, you know, standing upright and all posture, typical modelling things. We look at the participant as a whole, as a person. How can we improve them fitting into society in different ways? And so we're not a clinical business. We would never be a clinical business, but we will always be the creative business, which is there to support people with disabilities. So yeah, they're intensive, they're skills-based, they're industry-based. So we look at immersing people with disabilities into experiences that can help them to grow in different ways. But yeah, any opportunity we can to get them out there is what we do best. So our values, always be passionate. So you can probably tell that I'm passionate and I love what I do. Like, I eat, sleep, eat this for breakfast, like this is my thing. But it's because it's come from my heart. So diversity models, I infuse that into our models to be passionate in everything you do or don't do it. You know, simple. Same with our team as well. We encourage that. Be team and family driven. So I always infuse that into our models right from the start, that we're here to support each other. So help to promote each other, share opportunities, share ideas, and just grow together. Because I think that is a way that, as a unique modelling agency, that you can actually succeed in the industry. Because otherwise, the modelling industry is very catty, right? And you all know this, right? And even the fashion industry is like this. So that's why we try to stay away from fashion as much as we can, and we focus on commercial modelling, because commercial modelling is obviously where it's more business driven, but it's also where the pay is too, is commercial modelling, not fashion modelling. So we are always thinking about our participants and how we can give them an income of some form, somehow, or somehow they can obtain some opportunity that's going to help them grow. So we support their ambitions. So I always ask our models, what is your goal? Is there something you want to achieve besides modelling, or what is your skills that you have that we can utilise somehow as a business? Because if we can employ our models in a different way and get them to use whatever they can do, we will do that, because we want to employ people with disabilities in modelling and other skill sets. And we especially have a zero ego policy. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I hate egos. Put your hand if you hate egos. Exactly, that's what I feel. I can't stand it. So for me, I make it very clear to our models that it is important, no matter what your journey is with us, to be humble in everything you do. Because, as I said, it's very competitive, but people will work with you if they like you and they see that you're a positive person, and if you support their businesses too. So if I identify someone that has a serious ego, I pretty much will terminate them. Only because I'm looking at the whole company, the team culture. I'm looking at the performance of our group together. And ego is something that I just never support. And even from my teaching background, I used to say that to my students: be humble, be humble. Successful people are always very humble, no matter what. And be thankful, have gratitude. It's really simple principles, but this is what we want across the board, and we try to train these bit by bit into our participants. And honesty too, absolute honesty, because it's essential. And if you can't do a shoot, tell me. If you can't join our agency at the right time, come later. Just always honesty, transparency, doing the right thing. So our purpose is to advocate for people with disabilities. So you won't see us with the signs, the activist signs going around causing trouble. We are more a positive agency. So everything we do, we come from a positive perspective. That's why we try to attract positive people who have those same values in them, who will grow with us, because we don't want negative Nancy's, right? It's not necessary. We don't want people who are feeling, oh, my poor self. No, we want people with disabilities who want to grow, want to be successful, come from supportive networks with parents, with carers, with plan managers who support their dreams, because we not only start the dreams, we also build their dreams with them. We help them to be represented, and we want them to, have a good image in the light. And we push our models to reach their potential, because you can. Everyone has a potential they can reach. You just need someone to mentor you and help you along. And we also cross-promote our clients too. So from a business perspective, so there's two sides of our business. So one, we actually are a modelling agency for people with disabilities, but the other side is we also work with companies that need participants for their marketing. So for example, some of you may have banners that have stock images, for example, or you've got websites with stock images. So what we've done is we've realised, you need photos of people with disabilities that are unique to your business. You need photos that have your company well represented with your logo on it, your uniform, to show that you are proud of your company. So what we do is we fill the gap in the market. We are a one-stop shop. So if you need the models, of course, hair and makeup artists, the studio, if you have locations that you want to shoot your models, for example, being walked with a wheelchair with your team, we will do that all for you from start to finish, because that's a creative element which some of you may not have, may not want to organise, because it's a bit tedious. There's logistics involved, there's timing, there's casting, there's budgeting, there's organising lunch, there's everything, making sure the whole process is organised. So this is where we actually fix the market for the businesses. We do with all kinds of businesses, all sizes, all around Australia, who need people with disabilities to be represented and their team to be represented as well. If you want our models to wear your uniforms too, our non-disability models or models with autism, they're happy to wear a uniform as well, because we just want to show that these photos are for you, for your specific business. Replace stock images. So here's another AI company that recently was one of our clients in Melbourne, and they did a huge shoot and it was very good. AI is amazing. I'm absolutely impressed by Keen Care and what you offer, especially the language translation I saw today. That was outstanding. So yes, so there we go. And there's some of our recent clients. So Tactical Ability was a fashion brand, apparel brand that also does SDA and consulting. Spinal Cord Injuries Australia. So you've probably heard of them. They're in Sydney. They're a big organisation. I think it's non-for-profit. HoseLink Australia is an international company and Australian company that does garden products. Disability Support Guide, you've seen that magazine going around, I'm sure, everywhere across Australia. That's a page on our magazine. Tara for Exceptional Care, so it's another NDIS provider. Interact is an employment agency. Summit Elizabeth Day Spa is a day spa. City of Gold Coast is the council, so I'm from Gold Coast. And Neuro Moves is a big gym franchise across Australia. Clients. In the corner is Wise Healthcare. Bobby is in Melbourne and in Sydney. NDISync.ai is what our client before. Employability is an employment provider. Possibility, another employment provider. And the Department of Infrastructure, Transport, Development, Communications and Sports. So this is our government agencies. So you can see all these gigs engaged our models, and they were all paid as models and not at the what's called ADE rate. They were paid on a gigs basis, half day or full day. But as you can see, we cover all kinds of industries that appreciate people with disabilities, because that's what we do. We represent them in modelling. We represent them in any way that they can be seen. Here's some of the fashion shows that we did, the Disability Connections Expos. Was it 2 weeks ago, myself, Billiana, and the other model, I'm just trying to think of having mind blank. Yes, we were in front of the Governor General in Queensland, and we were all dressed in saris, and it was in front of the community day that was here in Brisbane. Yeah, so it was quite an amazing opportunity for us. Alicia did a bit of news reporting to practice her skills, because we identify who can speak on camera very effectively. Yep, Rebecca, that's right, Rebecca, sorry, it just came to me. And we were also on The Project, the TV show, so they did a full episode on our models going onto the catwalk. So these are some of the important times of taking our models not only for photographic modelling shoots, but also for events where we get them out there. Because you can see who we have through being in person with them, or you can see them online, whatever it is, we are representing them. So that's pretty much it for Diversity Models and Diversity Academy. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Team Care.
Yeah, thank you, Monique.